Welcome back to Call of the Father. Today, I want to talk about being a hero. I think all of us want to be a hero in a lot of ways, or at least we go through stages in our life where we want to be a hero, and there's so many layers to that. And I've been coming to some conclusions about it recently that it's just important to go over some of these things. My daughter wrote something that I'm going to share, and I kind of mentioned it in a previous episode real recently, but my daughter wrote something that was so amazing, and it was such a crazy synchronicity to me what she wrote about self-love, learning all the lessons I've been going over and like trying to wrap my heart around. Just in the last few months, I've been trying to wrap my heart around these things, and I don't think I've hardly shared any of it with my daughter, or any of my kids, really. Just a lot of it, just trying to learn it myself, and then all of a sudden, she writes this short excerpt that I'm like, holy crap, how do you know this? And the way she wrote it, it's like she knows it better than me. And so I want to break these cycles, the generational cycles of trauma. I want to break them for my kids from the get-go. And, I've shared a lot on this podcast that when my divorce started, or when I separated from my ex, there was a lot of it was kind of a crazy mess I was trying to work through, and I really wanted to heal and grow to be there for my kids. I wanted to be able to help them, and man, it's like it's a hard it's a hard thing to do. I just don't do everything right every minute, and it's like as hard as I try, it's just not quite ever enough, really. And that's just a fact. And so there's a lot of talk in the healing and personal growth arena about being enough. And I did do an episode recently that I said, I'm not enough. I labeled it, I'm not enough and neither are you. And I didn't label it, I didn't name it that to go against the trend. It was kind of catchy, but there's truth in that too. We do want to say that we're enough. We want to tell ourselves we're enough. But the one that we need to be enough for is ourselves. It has nothing to do with anybody else. When you really start getting down to the bottom of it and you're learning and growing and healing, the one that you're enough for is yourself. I won't ever be enough for someone else. And man, I can't wait to share what my daughter wrote. But there's other things I'm going to go into first. This idea of being a hero, I wanted to break these cycles and be the hero for my kids. And in the end, I realized they're going to be their own heroes. The only one I can be a hero for is myself. And you won't appreciate that as much as I ever will. If I'm my own hero, I break the cycle of my own trauma because I keep replaying it in my head. When you have this programming, you keep replaying all the same things in your head, and you keep just going through that program, and you keep replaying the same scenario over and over in your life. You keep manifesting it. You bring it onto yourself, and I can see how I've done that. It's a tough one. It's a tough cycle to break, and I do want to be my own hero. Something I thought about the other day is that you can't be the one to break the cycle without experiencing trauma. Because I thought about, what if I break the cycle for my kids and they, if they lived a perfect life, if I could be the perfect parent, which I'm not, and none of us are, but if I could do everything perfect for them and they lived perfect lives, they wouldn't experience any trauma, and there'd be no cycle for them to break. And so something I thought about is you can't be the one to break the cycle without experiencing the trauma. There's no such thing as an unharmed hero, because heroes rise from the depths of adversity. So each one of us, we break our own trauma. We break that cycle for ourselves, and we rise from the depths of our own adversity. That's how you win. That's how you become your own hero. And so that's kind of what I was referring to recently when I said I can look in the mirror now and I love myself. I like what I see now. For the first time in my life, I'm 50 years old and I can look in the mirror and I actually appreciate what I see. And it doesn't have to do with the physical as much as I thought it did my whole life. I always thought I didn't like what I saw and it was physical, but there was so much more to it. It was all the programming. Now I look in the mirror and I realize what I've overcome, and it's that being inside of me. It's that one who overcame, and it has nothing to do with my physical appearance. That's who I look in the mirror and love. That physical representation, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think he looks pretty good and I'm okay with it. But it's just that. It's just a physical, just a physical representation of what is underneath. And man, I respect myself. I've been through a lot, fucked up a lot of things in my life. But man, I've kept trying, and somehow I am here where I am now. And I feel like I've overcame a lot of things. So I want to get to what my daughter wrote, and it what I want to do first is I want to go over some things that that I've struggled with. Just I feel like she's getting it so much better than me, and that's what I was talking about being the parent. I don't know how I'm the dad. Like, there's this perception of parenthood that we're here to teach and guide our kids, and we're the ones telling them what to do. That goes into the coaching that I'm saying that I want to do and that I'm offering. Also, it's not about telling somebody what to do. Man, it's about listening. I feel like I can learn so much more from my kids than they even can learn from me. And then just in me healing and doing this work, there's that quantum tunneling and the entanglement. Holy crap, there's a shared consciousness. They're learning the things I'm learning better than I can. Their minds are fresh. Their hearts are fresh. They aren't, I don't know, they have a better shot at all of this in life than I do even. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to become my own hero. I am becoming my own hero. But they have an even better shot at taking the ball and running way further than I even dreamed of. And they're going to. And it has to do with me healing. They are learning from my lessons. Even when I don't talk about it to them, they learn from it. And so I've shared some things that I've struggled with, wanting to find love outside of myself. God, wait till you hear what my daughter wrote. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to keep teasing on it until I share it. But God, wait till you hear what she wrote. But I've struggled with trying to find that love outside of myself. And I wrote something that I was talking to my daughter about probably a month and a half ago. And it really hit me one day. And I said, basically, when my physical eyes are open, that I'm distracted from the heart, emotion, energy, and love that I am. So I look for it in the visible around me. Why can't I be happy with me and what's in my heart? I look in each interaction with someone else and invest energy in that interaction. each one of those interactions, I'm always looking for something. I'm looking for a return that makes me feel good. Why am I investing that, And so I talked about not too long ago. I didn't share yet, but I kind of came to some conclusions about that girl that I was sharing that I liked. And I felt I just spent some time with it and felt like I backed myself into a corner, into a place that I didn't want to be emotionally, because I felt like I knew deep down she wasn't ready for anything, and maybe I won't be the one. Why am I necessarily attaching myself to there are amazing things about her, and I hope good for her. I hope the best for her in life. I hope that she continues on her healing path, because she's pretty amazing. She is on a healing path, and and our friendship meant something to me and to her, but maybe she saw it as a friendship. Maybe there was attraction there. I think there was, but I really felt like I backed myself into a corner emotionally where I had a hope and dependence on an outcome there of having something more than friendship, something romantic with her. And I'm realizing more and more, man, I got to get to that. I got to get to the bottom of this with myself. I got to date myself for a little while, I think, and really get to a place where I'm appreciating myself. That love will come. That it might not be her, but that love will come, that romantic connection that I have hoped for. It'll come when there isn't a resistance, as Aaron Dowdy talks about. By wanting that so badly, I might be creating a resistance that drives it away from me. So I really just want to get to the bottom of get in a position of just really loving myself and focusing on that love for myself. And that's not an arrogant thing. It's just appreciating what I am and who I am, and really giving myself that love. Yeah, wait till you hear what my daughter wrote. Back to that. So anyway, I mentioned in a previous episode that I was going to get a chance to talk to her, and it kept getting delayed. And at a certain point, I was like, man, I don't know. And I don't know if, she had some things going on that came up with her work, and we weren't able to get together yet. And we kept rescheduling. And finally, I was like, I'm just going to write this out because I don't want to miss any points. And I wanted to really, I felt like telling her how I really felt about her and toward her, that I built up this set of feelings about her. I felt like I needed to share that with her for a couple of reasons. And it wasn't, what I didn't want it to be was me taking a shot. And I feel, in the end, I kind of feel like I achieved that. I don't know, maybe you could argue that it would always be taking a shot to share that. But I feel like the energy was different because I wrote out all my points, and I shared it with her. I texted it to her because I felt like it needed to be out there. And the big thing about it was I felt like I got to a conclusion that I needed to set myself free from that emotional corner that I backed myself into, because I had a lot of emotion and interest and importance. That's another thing, Aaron Dowdy. I've been listening to Aaron Dowdy quite a bit, and he had an episode recently about decreasing importance to decrease resistance and things like that. And you'll attract what you want when you decrease the importance. If you make something too important, you create a resistance and you drive it away from you. And I felt like I'd made this connection with her in my heart, with all these emotions, all these things. I'd kind of put her up on, I don't want this to come out wrong, but I put her on a pedestal in a way that I made it important, more important than myself, to myself. I think everybody, their top importance should be themselves in a way of self-love. That I don't want that to come out wrong either. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's when you really love yourself, then you gain the capacity for that love in a romantic relationship and other relationships. When you really love yourself, you have a better capacity to appreciate those connections. And anyway, I think in a way, I kind of made that connection more important than, like, I was looking to fulfill a vacuum or a need inside of me by hoping for that. Anyway, so I wanted to set myself free. I sent her a text message, just kind of laying it out there, and I didn't ask for anything. I didn't ask for a response. In fact, I told her that whether or not she responds is completely up to her, and I just basically wanted to put out there how I felt, and I didn't expect, there was no expectation from me. Basically, I was expecting nothing from her, and she was under no obligation to even respond. And at the same time, I also felt like some of the things I said, I hope that I believe that it would also build her up, and I believe there was value in it for her. That I do think she's amazing. She deserves great things, even if it's not me. As she heals and grows, I do believe she deserves somebody amazing. And I want that for her. And I think that that's love also, if I can accept that it might not be me. That I just hope she finds the perfect person, no matter who it is. Anyway, so that's that. That's off the table for now, at least. I think she sent a really nice response. She really did. And I appreciated how genuine she was. And she said just what I felt in my heart. She really wasn't ready for anything romantic yet. She kind of just went through a divorce, and she's trying to be there for her kids. And I think she's doing an amazing job trying to just love them. And so there's a lot there. Anyway, I feel bad in a way backing off, but I felt like I need to back off for a bit here and just make sure I'm in the right place for myself, loving myself, and not staying attached in an emotional way that just leaves me too attached. So maybe there'll be a friendship there still in the future, but for now I just backed off. Anyway, coming to these conclusions is hard. It's harder for me. Wait till you hear what my daughter wrote. Some ways, I don't know that it's harder for me, but I think that it's harder for me than it is for her. So how am I the dad? I think there's this perception about parenthood that we're teaching them, as I started to say, and that we're leading them, and that they have to learn from us, and that they got to do it our way because we have all the experience. I call bullshit on some of that, because another thing about I've thought of is that, we raise our kids, and here in the U.S., wherever you're at listening, may be different some countries, but here generally the societal standard is when they're 18, they're an adult, and then they leave the house. They leave the house when they're ready. And I thought recently, maybe they leave when we're ready. Maybe my kids will leave when they know that they've taught me enough that I'm going to be okay without them. Because I learn so much from them every day. And this goes into that coaching again. Like I said, I do want to be a coach. I want to be your friend the offer's still on the table. There's still room. If you're interested in coaching, man, don't look up to me too much. Let's start a friendship, and let's let that friendship guide you, because I believe I can learn as much from you as you can learn from me. And that offer's still there. Like I said, it's free. It's free for now. I just want to give. I don't know where it'll go. I don't know that it'll turn into anything for me. I want to give. I'm passionate about this walk. I've had recently, even part of the reason it's been 2 weeks since the last episode, I had something I really had to sort through in my mind. Something kind of tough. Somebody very, very close to me kind of resisted this, and I had to really take some time to evaluate it. And they're coming from a point of view, they've on their healing journey, they've gone the therapy route, and they resist the coaching, and they were saying, I'm not here to heal you. There's something I want to say about it. To be a coach, I don't feel like it's about healing. Lisa Romano is one of my biggest heroes. I've taken her courses and changed my life. But as she would say, I changed my life. She didn't do it. She would tell you that. She just laid a roadmap, and I'm the one doing the work. And God, I appreciate that about her. She's so spot on. She said recently in a podcast, and it really hit me, or is alive. Maybe I said this even in a recent podcast, but I remember. She said, do you want to be healed, or do you want to heal? Because there's a difference. That's a direct quote. She said, do you want to be healed, or do you want to heal? Because there's a difference. And that's where the coaching goes. I'm not here to heal you. I'm not a therapist. So if you need therapy, if there's things like that, by all means, go that direction. Or if you need both, I'm not going to heal you. I'm not going to claim to heal you. You're going to do the work. But I want to be your friend. I want to be here to encourage you. I might have some stories from my healing that might inspire you. But overall, maybe I listen, and in you talking to me, you sort through things yourself. That's what I think a lot of coaching is. You come to these conclusions because the answers are within you. So you're going to be your own hero, and you're going to break this cycle yourself. You're going to be your own hero. Let's get to what my daughter said. Let's get to this. Let me click over to this. My daughter's 17. And when as short as this is, it's short but long, but man, it deserves, if I need to stop, I will, and give just some space to digest something. But she said, it was today that I realized my parents will never meet my needs, even if they did everything right. No one will ever meet my needs the way I can. Showing up for yourself and meeting your own needs is so important. If I rely on other people to comfort and show me the love I hope for, I will be let down, for no one will give me the love I need from myself. Real love is imperfect. Oh my gosh. She says, real love is imperfect, and that's what makes it special. That is so deep. I can't believe she wrote that. She says, I was not given the mom I needed. I was given the mom who didn't know how to show up. It's beautiful if you take a step back and recognize that it is because of her not meeting my needs that I'm able to grow into the person I need to be for me. I'm grateful for that. I'm going to pause here. I'm just going to say it's amazing that she's coming to these conclusions, and I see her mom trying, and I still just keep praying for her to just heal things herself. She's got to be her own hero. And my daughter's right. She can't meet her needs. And to be fair, I'm not meeting her needs. I'm trying, but the best that I can do to meet her needs, the thing that I'm doing is healing myself. And then through shared consciousness, holy crap, the synchronicity of this, what she's writing, she's on her own journey, becoming her own hero. That's the only way I can meet her needs. I can't do it overtly. I can't fix everything for her. I can only heal myself, and that helps her to meet her own needs. She feels it. She feels it more than she sees it or hears it. She feels that energy, and she's coming to these conclusions and healing herself and becoming her own hero. I'm going to continue with what she wrote. She said, "There will be so many times in your life where you're hoping to be picked up and guided by someone." Oh my gosh. "But the truth is, you will only feel picked up all the way when you can do it on your own. When someone wakes up to the idea that they can pick themselves up better than someone else could, you'll feel comfort in yourself. People who really care about you won't want to come and just pick you up. They will want to be there to watch you pick yourself up and support you along the way." Should give you a minute to digest that. That makes me emotional, and I can't. Oh my God. Like I said, I'm learning these things, and she's preaching it better. She knows it better than I do even yet. She said, "When someone is truly rooting for you out of love, they won't be there hoping they can be the reason to have helped you. That's not love. They will want to see you overcome the hard parts. Learning how to love and show up for yourself is when you grow into a person who is no longer dependent on someone else. You are the only one you go through your entire life with, start to finish. Family and friends will come and go and won't be with you for your whole journey of life, but you will." That's the end of what she wrote, but oh my gosh, like, I just want to point out, I'm sitting here, I've been, for the last 4.5 years, 5 years, it's 5 years now, 5 years in a few days, there'll be 5 years since my whole world just turned upside down, and I was so scared for my kids as much as myself, more than myself, because they'd said things like, "This is what will never happen to our family." They'd see other families, I've said that before, that are going through divorce, and they felt the pain for those kids, and it was such a shocking thing to see for them. And I remember them saying, "That'll never happen to our family." And 5 years ago, when my whole world just turned upside down by the realization that this is happening, and I knew that it was definite, there was no turning back from it. I wouldn't even go back from it. It was what it was. I was scared to death for my kids. I was scared to death for, how am I going to do this? And I kind of took it on, and man, God helped me along the way. It's taken 5 years to get to where I'm at. And here my daughter's putting this all in that short excerpt. She's got this. She doesn't even need me. And that whole time for 5 years, I was so focused on helping them and breaking the cycle and being their hero. And the only way I could do that was to break this within myself. And it's such a hard realization to come to. It's a hard realization to come to. I really thought I had to help them, and I really just needed to help myself. So there was one more thing I believe here that I wanted to just mention that I'd written. Let me find it. I think it was just about the being a hero, basically, and breaking the cycle. Each person, I wrote, I'm starting to believe that we will never stop all the trauma. Wait, let's see. Let's start here. I wrote here, my kids will finish the job. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to completely shield them from the trauma cycles, but I've realized that you can't be the one to break the cycle without experiencing the trauma. I said that already, but then I said, so I'm starting to believe that we will never stop all the trauma from existing, but rather we break the cycle by breaking it within ourselves and give an example to our kids of how to break the cycle for themselves. Each one breaks the cycle individually within. Thank you for showing up. If you're interested in coaching, I think I can learn a lot from you. So send me an email at callofthefather. Let's see, it's callofthefather@gmail.com. Callofthefather@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll give you a contact, or we'll connect on Facebook or something, and maybe we'll make a phone call. We'll figure it out. Anyway, have a great day.